Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with the Diary of Anne Frank. Chapter 14, D-Day. May 25th, 1944. Dear Kitty, Mr. Van Hoven was arrested today morning for hiding 2 Jews in his house. It's a big blow for us because those poor Jews are doomed, and so is Mr. Hoven. The world's turned upside down as good people are being sent to concentration camps and prisons. The lowest of the low are ruling, and unless you are a Nazi, your fate is uncertain. Losing Mr. Van Hoven is a big loss because Bep can't carry such a huge amount of potatoes here, and we eat less now. Mother says we will skip breakfast, have hot cereal and bread for lunch, and fried potatoes for dinner. We'll have vegetables or lettuce once or twice a week. Staying hungry is better than being caught. Meep and Mr. Kugler share the burden for our responsibility, and the latter can barely speak from the tension and the strain. Mr. Clayman and Bep have their own worries, the former with his health and the latter with her engagement. Their tension is relieved somewhat by meeting their friends, but we've never experienced relief in those 2 years here. One afternoon, Meep came up and asked Father if they thought they were also anti-Semitic like the rest. A stunned Father talked her out, but they were going to get out of the way for us now. They are such good, noble people. Oh, let something happen soon, even an air raid. Nothing can be as bad as this worry. Let the end come, no matter how cruel it is. Yours, Anne. June 6, 1944. Dear Kitty, it's D-Day, the BBC announced at 12. The invasion has begun. The British reported heavy bombings of Calais, Boulogne, Le Havre, Cherbourg, and Pas-de-Calais at 8 this morning. As a precautionary measure for those residing within 20 miles of the coast in the occupied areas, there was a warning to be alert for bombardments. The British would drop pamphlets an hour earlier whenever possible. German news has reported that British paratroopers have landed on the French coast. British landing crafts are engaged in combat with German naval units, the BBC reports. In his speech to the French people on BBC, Supreme Commander General Dwight Eisenhower said, "Stiff fighting will come now, but after this victory, good luck." According to the BBC, 11,000 planes, 4,000 landing crafts, and small boats have been deployed in action by British and American forces. This is a total commotion to the Annex. Is this really the beginning of the much-awaited liberation? Will 1944 bring us the victory and freedom? We don't have the answer, but when there's hope, there is life. It's salvation, not just for us Jews, but for all of Holland and occupied Europe. Margaret says we might return to school in September or October. Last night and today morning, straw rubber dummies were airdropped behind German lines, exploding as soon as they hit the ground. Paratroopers, with their face blackened so they couldn't be seen in the dark, landed as well. 55 tons of bombs hit the French coast that night, and the first landing craft arrived ashore at 6 in the morning, but the German coastal batteries were destroyed even before the landing. Yours, Anne. June 13, 1944. Dearest Kitty, I'm 15 now that another birthday has gone by. The invasion is going splendidly despite the terrible weather. Rains, gale winds, and high seas. Churchill, Smuts, Eisenhower, and Arnold visited the liberated villages yesterday. Churchill rode on a torpedo that shelled the coast. Unlike many men, he doesn't know the meaning of fear or infiltrate. It's not easy to judge the mood of the Dutch from our position at the Annex. There's no doubt that many people are happy at the arrival of the British. But many people say they don't want to be occupied by the British. They're being very unfair, as their sole reasoning is that England should fight and sacrifice their sons to liberate Holland. But after that, they should return to their own country. But what would have happened to Holland and his neighbors with England had signed a peace treaty with Germany? Holland would have become German, and that would have been the end of all things. All Dutch critics and haters of the British would be given a good shaking like one would plump up a pillow. That would put their jumbled brains in order. Why does everyone think I'm arrogant? Am I arrogant or are they? Mrs. Von Don and Dussel, 2 of my main accusers, are actually just plain stupid. Stupid people normally can't bear it when others do something better than they do. Mrs. Von Dawn thinks I'm stupid because I don't suffer from stupidity as much as she does. The same applies for Mr. Dussel, but as I say, there's no smoke without fire. I accept that I'm a know-it-all, but I'm much more critical about myself than anyone else. The most popular refrain is, "No one understands me." If only there was someone who took my feelings seriously. Alas, I haven't found that person yet and must keep searching. Am I in love with nature because I haven't been outdoors for so long? Few are isolated from nature as we are, and the joys of nature can be shared by the rich and poor alike. Not only does nature spark my imagination, but also staring at the star, sky, and moon calms me down and makes me hopeful. Nature is the best medicine. One question that bothers me often is, why are women always considered inferior to men? While it's easy to say it's unfair, I'd like to understand the reason for this grave injustice. Obviously, men dominated women because of their great physical strength. Women went along with this silently until recent times, which was stupid, as a problem is rooted deeper the longer it continues. Thankfully, education, progress, and work have been an eye-opener for women. They have been granted equal rights in many countries, and even men have realized it was unfair to treat women this way. Modern women want the right to be completely independent. But the women should be respected as well. Why can't women be soldiers? During childbirth, a woman suffers more pain than a war hero. What does she get in return for enduring the pain? Disfigured after birth, she's pushed aside, abandoned by her children. Eventually her beauty fades. Women are much tougher than all the war heroes and freedom fighters put together. I'm not implying that women should stop having children, as that is nature's way. I'm condemning our system of values and the men who don't acknowledge the greatness of women and their contribution to our society. Yours, Anne. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.